financial year has just ended on March 31st. You'll see there 10.2 million in sales. If we could go back, please, to the first slide. So that was last financial year. This financial year, we did 11 million in sales. Restaurants produced 2 million in EBITDA, just over 2 million in EBITDA. This is the second time we've done a bond, so we have a perfect payment history. So it's the second time we've done a bond. First bond that we launched was in 2014, and we have a perfect payment history on that. Yeah, that was profiled by Inc. magazine as, in combination with the rewards that we offered for the bond, as the cleverest scheme for raising capital, they said, in the history of small business. And we'll get into some of the rewards that we're offering with the bond as well. If we go to the next slide, please. So quick overview of the business. So again, it's a Mexican restaurant chain. It's based on successful US business models. We have 11 restaurants, 10 in London, 1 in Manchester. All the restaurants are profitable. And we have positive like-for-like sales. So when you compare a restaurant that's been open for at least 1 year with the sales results of the previous year, which is the only real way to measure, because otherwise you can just open up more restaurants and then the sales look like they're growing, but your mature ones are actually declining. So our like-for-like sales are positive across the group. Serve about 25,000 people per week. We're backed by CEOs and executives from the world's top food brands, offering an 8% bond. There's 7 days left in the bond. We have over 600 people that have invested, 3.4 million pounds, and current investors in the bond include the former CEO of Domino's Pizza UK, the former managing director of Itsu, and the former VP of marketing for McDonald's UK. Next slide, please. On our website, if you go to chilango.co.uk, you'll find a full pitch video, all the pitch materials. I'm not expecting you to read this, but you'll find this full presentation there as well. But just quick highlights, some of which I've already mentioned. So over 2 million in restaurant EBITDA expected current fiscal year. That's already been booked. So the fiscal year just ended on March 31st, so that's happened. 5.3 positive like-for-like sales, all restaurants profitable. That's higher now. At the time that this presentation was made, it was 5.3%. For the last 6 months, our like-for-like sales have been 8.1%. 11-year operating history with steady growth. I've seen lots of people come and go in the UK restaurant industry. We've survived, well, we started in 2007, so we've survived quite a few different market and economic cycles. I've taken a slow and steady approach to building the business, about 1 restaurant a year, and we're looking to double in size over the next 3 years. But again, slow and steady wins the race. And I've mentioned this before, experienced bond issuer with perfect payment history. Next slide, please. Taking a very, very branded approach to this. I think that the world's best brands can be summed up in a single word. So Nike's about competition, Disney's about happiness. That one-word distillation for Chilango is vibrancy. We're on a mission to make the world a more vibrant place. That's why we exist. And then that vibrancy flows through everything that we do. So our food is vibrantly flavored. We have a lot of personal and professional development programs throughout the company to help our people shine as brightly as possible so that they literally brighten up those around them by becoming the best possible version of themselves. And then the restaurant interiors, as well as online, our website, everything is a riot of color, basically. So all of that is to communicate this sense of vibrancy. Next slide, please. The bond comes with a variety of different awards. So in terms of the standard bond instrument metrics, it's an 8% bond, semi-annual interest payments, £500 minimum subscription, 4-year maturity. As I said, there's 7 days left in it. There's about 600 people invested thus far. Original target of 1 million, and we're at 3.4 million raised. Comes with different rewards as well, so every investor gets a voucher for a couple of free burritos. As you invest more money, you get more free food rewards, but by far the largest driver for investment is this last one, so the £10,000 mark. Again, we take investment down to £500, but over 70% of the investment has been in pursuit thus far, has been in pursuit of that reward. So it's a Chilango Black Card, which entitles the holder to 1 free meal per week during the duration of the bond. And that can be shared. Okay, next slide, please. Mexican is a very, in the US, it's a very saturated market. The UK, in terms of the restaurant industry, very much lags whatever's popular in the US. And Mexican food is really kind of, hitting new heights in terms of popularity. So burrito outlets, now the fastest growing type of eatery on the high street from The Guardian. In nationwide surveys, it's knocked off Chinese food as the nation's favorite foreign cuisine. Only think we're at the start of what's to come. Next slide, please. Very quickly, in terms of leadership team, so I'm not Mexican, but I grew up in Chicago, where I fell in love with Mexican food because it's the second largest population of Mexicans in the United States. So I grew up with a lot of Mexican friends, and if you don't like Mexican food in Chicago, you'll set yourself up for starvation. So I grew up loving the food. I studied finance. I was a consultant with McKinsey & Company for a while. Then with my business partner, Dan Houghton, who's in the middle there, helped build up Skype in its very early days. That was then sold to eBay for $2.6 billion in 2005, I think it was, or 6, or 4. Yeah, was it 4? Okay. Yeah, it was a while ago, so I can't remember. And then I've been doing this for the last 10 years, and along the way, it's been quite a thrilling ride. I've been recognized as one of the top 30 entrepreneurs in the country by Startup Magazine, amongst Britain's 27 most disruptive entrepreneurs by The Telegraph. And then on Thursday evening, I was floored and honored to receive CEO of the Year at the British Business Excellence Forum. And Dan in the middle, Dan is the smartest person I've ever met in my life. He graduated #1 in his class in mathematics from Cambridge. He does all things data at Chilango. Rich leads up operations, really knows what he's doing, having run a £50 million operation with EAT. Next slide, please. We've attracted some incredible investors along the way. All of this you can find out more about if you go to the website, again, chilango.co.uk, and you'll find links to the bond site. So investors from McDonald's, Costa, Itsu, Jamie Oliver, Krispy Kreme. The tourism board of Mexico, the country, in charge of selling Mexico to the rest of the world, invested in Chilango. The Domino's Pizza UK, Carluccio's. Next slide, please. You can hear on our website and in this presentation directly from them about why they invested. Next slide, please. 10 sites in London, 1 in Manchester, Birmingham's on the way. Then we'll just continue to focus on London thereafter for the next few years. Next slide, please. There's more financial results if you go to the site. Just very quickly, last 3 years, 56% increase in sales, 76% increase in profit after prime cost, 1.7 million increase in restaurant EBITDA. Next slide, please. Lots of nice words. Won't go into that. You can see more of that on the site. Next slide, please. I had lots of television and press. Did a guest judging stint on The Apprentice. Plenty of things that you can find, again, on the website. Next slide, please. Our secret sauce. We're applying what we learned at Skype to this business. So we focus on brand, product, and data. That's our source of competitive advantage. And next slide. And I think I'm on time. Yeah? Yeah. So please take a look at the opportunity online. It ends midnight, April 12th, and we would love to have you aboard as an investor. Thanks very much for your time today.